What is going on, YouTube fitness family? We are back. We are here in Halifax. Technically, we're in what's it called again, Safe? Fucking Sackford, Lower Sack. What is this, Sack? We're in some sack. We're in the sack. We're deep in the sack. We're here with Greg Doucette, but I'm actually gonna hit a solo chest workout right now. Walk you guys through. We are 3 weeks into my off season. I'm so excited. The training is through the ceiling. So I'm gonna walk you through my exercises, my mentality, why I'm hitting what I'm hitting. And so I'm excited for this. If you guys are not subscribed to my channel, I'm putting out so much content. It's insane. So please subscribe to my page. Honestly, it means so much to me to see the subscribership growing. So thank you all. The comments, the love, appreciate all of you. Hit that bell notification so you can see when my new videos are coming out. Without further ado, let me stop wasting your time. Let's get into this chest workout. We're already starting off with a pec deck. I have actually never used this specific hoist pec deck, but we'll start off with like, let's say 150, because why not? And so we're gonna do here, I set it pretty far back because I like to have a big stretch on my flies. This might be enough. Yeah, it should be good. So this one's interesting. Got a nice ergonomic movement pattern. So with every single one of my fly movements, I want to get a nice amount of stretch at the back of my rep. So really retracting the scaps, opening up the chest, because inevitably on chest, I want to make sure everything's opened up. So that's why I like to almost start with a fly movement, because I'm not really focusing on top end strength. So I don't have to worry about, let's say, starting off with, let's say, a bench press, for example. Because if I was really wanting to do a powerlifting composition where benching is part of the criteria of how much can I bench, of course I want to start with that movement when my body's the freshest, but for me, hypertrophy is the goal. So I want to open up the tissue and start with a fly movement to get everything firing. Flies are a lot safer, obviously, than heavier pressing, and if I can get the tissue nice and open up, then I'm going to inevitably get a lot more bang for my buck as the workout progresses. So I'm going to start here. Set a 12 to 15, really good peak contraction, good slow on that eccentric, milking that stretch, because obviously, like we talk about a lot, is that stretch mediated hypertrophy, getting that load in that stretch position to try to drive more blood flow into that fascia and get more hypertrophy in that stretch position. So I think we're a little bit more than 12. I don't really count my reps. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I go more based off of feel than off of rep count, so I'm probably closer to 15 to 16 now. Not really too worried about that. Just get a really good blood flow in there. Let's go 3 more. Feel pretty good. Finish those flies up. Now we're gonna hit this hoist press. I actually hit this with Greg for like 1 set. Show him how I do it, 1 to 2 sets. So we're gonna do 3 sets here. Biggest keys are gonna be posture, range of motion, time under tension, peak contraction. So I'll walk you through all those as I'm doing the set. So about mid on these handles. Slow eccentric. So like with these, biggest keys, like I said, slow eccentric, pulling those shoulders back, big stretch, pushing out consciously through the chest. Squeezing the middle of the rep, slow eccentric, always controlling the movement. 8 to 10 with those negatives. And then fire through some failure reps. Oh man, the burn on that's freaking nuts. But I like a machine press because you have so much control. Opposed to, like, let's say a barbell press, there's so many different vectors of force, things that can go wrong. It's nice because it has that ergonomic pattern, but this is nice too because people who design these machines understand how the body works. So you can kind of see how that movement curve works really well with the pressing ergonomics that your body naturally finds itself in. So that's why I like a machine press, because I can even give myself some assisted reps with a foot plate. A lot of times you have these kind of like things that help you the first rep, but sometimes I'll cheat it at the end of the set. I'll use it to give myself a few forced reps. So I'll probably do that at the end of this set. Just do like 2 to 3 slightly assisted reps with the pedal. It's almost like if you had a partner helping you through to get that very close to ultimate failure point. So we're gonna go cable fly, mid-chest fly from the top position. So the reason I love cable flies is it allows for really ergonomic movement patterns, a lot of stretch at the back of the rep. As opposed, let's say, a dumbbell fly where you can't move as ergonomically because the bench is holding you in one position. You'll see I move with the movement pattern, so I kind of lean out on the fly, I kind of come back and open up even more on the stretch. So for these, we're gonna step out, posture up, always really good posture through the chest, open, stretch to the back of the rep, and squeeze through the middle. Slow on that eccentric, almost turn the hands towards the floor to get that big stretch. Posture up, squeeze through the middle of the rep. Really good burn on that. So took like 8 to 10 with a negative, fired through some failure up, so it's gonna modulate up the weight slightly. So we're gonna move this cable down to a halfway, and we're gonna hit a kneeling iso fly. So we're gonna take these all the way to the floor. There's gonna be mid to upper chest, supinated palms. So I take it all the way out to the turf. Squeeze underneath, hands into a V shape. So it's almost a hybrid between a fly and a press. We get a big stretch to the pec minor. Squeeze through underneath. Crazy burn, man. So these form cues, shoulders back, straightening out the arms in the middle, turn the hands to a V, the back of the rep, bending the elbows, huge stretch, opening up the chest, digging through, big squeeze in the middle of the rep, really fighting for that peak contraction to that center, mid to upper chest. Whew. We're in it now. So as you can see, moving a lot faster than I did in those guided workouts with Greg, because I was trying to be more informational, but I try to cut down my rest times when I'm training on my own, especially because that's another way to push intensity without having to go quite as heavy. If I were to take a 2-minute rest, sure, I could probably push this up to 100, 110 in each hand, but I'd rather keep it at 80, keep the rest time low, build up that crazy burn hypoxicity in my chest. So let's do one more set of these and then move on. Oh yeah, I have to tell the story on YouTube. We were here when we got here. Safe took the brunt of this one. So we were filming, and there was this guy, big like fucking fat burly dude, doing like this fucking worthless workout. He was literally like had these plates, and he was doing like curls with like the kind of Olympic like 10-pound plates. Then he had hundreds, and he was doing like cheat curls, like 3-inch range of motion. And then he was literally coming over here. This was a circuit. Those two exercises, he came over here and he was like kicking the bag for like 3 sets, for like 3 reps. He came back. Safe didn't even know he was in his way. He comes over and he goes, "Hey, can you guys move over?" And he like literally took Safe by his like arm and shoulder and like moved him. And I was like, yo, this is getting like super uncomfortable. And then I like looked at him. He was like, "We all good, bro?" And I was like, I'm not wasting my time like getting into it with you because you're probably some freaking psychopath, like jujitsu, fucking goes 3 days a week to his fucking sensei and like throws people around and shit. He was like, he looked like, if you guys have seen Cobra Kai, he looked like that fat guy from Cobra Kai that like is part of the gang. That's what he looked like. So anyway, funny story. I thought I'd share that with you guys. So we're actually gonna do a decline, a pec fly. The decline, I really like these because you can get a really crazy stretch on these. And they're almost like therapeutic. Some of these 40s, I would highly recommend starting light if you're gonna do these. So set yourself up first. Get your weights ready beside you. Grab one at a time. Set up in a fly position. Good arch in the back, roll the shoulder blades back. We're gonna come down in that stretch on the fly, and then we're gonna reach back towards the floor. Like I said, I want you guys to use a weight that is very light for you to start, and then we're gonna fly into the middle, squeeze. So I've talked about this before. Mechanically speaking, a dumbbell fly, there's very little force in the middle of your rep because you're stacking the joint. So the most force actually gonna be induced the farther away that dumbbell is from your body. So that's gonna be, in this case, in a dumbbell fly, the most stretched position. So here, there's not very much force. Here, there's almost zero force on your chest because you're stacking the joint. The dumbbells goes from here to elbow, shoulder, through the bench. Whereas you come out here, the farther away you come from your center of gravity, the more force is being stressed on your body. In this case, that pec minor, huge stretch, reach back towards the floor and up. So really good negative. And the reason that I do stuff like this, guys, is most people are surprised to see me with this type of mobility and they're like, oh, you must do so much mobility work outside of the gym. I do nada, zilch, zero, because every single movement pattern I do, I focus on range of motion, so I don't have to do that much mobility because I train long in these super long movement patterns, range of motion, so my body stays so healthy. So I can reach back towards the floor, and even with 40 pounds in my hand, feel very comfortable and confident getting that big stretch. Thinking about, okay, you might be able to push through that pain today, tomorrow, next week when you're 22, 25 years old. But think about how that pain is going to feel when you're 30, 40. Because when you're pushing through that pain, inevitably what you're doing is pushing more stress on those tendons and those ligaments that can't recover. Your muscles can recover. Tendons and ligaments, they don't come back. So if you keep putting that stress, you're probably gonna lead to an injury or just a wear overuse thing because you're just like, oh, I can push through that. Let me just take some ibuprofen and I'll be fine. But you shouldn't think like that. You should want your training to feel like your body is moving in the way it should be, you're engaging the way you should, and not that you're just like pushing through undue stress. So I'm gonna cut at that. I think I might finish out, literally just burn it out with some decline push-ups right here, just to finish out, like literally take minimal rest, because I'm like pretty taxed at this point with the lower food earlier today. Just want to be smart about it. At the end of the day, if I'm push too hard today, it's gonna be a lot of diminishing returns. So I'm just gonna hit a couple sets to failure here of decline push-ups. I might actually just use this roller to kind of get that neutral grip I want. Might be a little bit hard on the hands with the pegs, but we'll see. So here, touchdown, drive out through the chest. So about 30 seconds rest, probably go one more set. Crazy amount of fatigue built up, but this is what I'm talking about. You don't have to do all heavy movements to induce hypertrophy. What I'm doing now, since I know I'm fatigued, is just cut down rest time, do maybe more body weight type movements. And because the fatigue's so high, I don't have to do as much weight to induce just as much hypertrophy. So don't think that only lifting heavy is what's gonna get you there. Last set, Greg, and we're out of here. Coach Greg's gonna critique my last set of these decline presses. This helps me keep the hands more neutral.
It looks like some torture device.
It's fucked. I'm so taxed at this point. Last set. That's it. Toast. So that is it for the chest day after the chest day. But a lot of fun. Met some really cool people here at this gym. Biggest takeaways, guys. Range of motion, time under tension. Gonna build hypertrophy, cut down your rest times if you wanna push the intensity a little bit without using as much weight. So if you guys are not subscribed to my channel, please do. Be posting stuff like this so much more frequently, full workouts, top exercises, why you're not building muscle. So please hit that sub button, hit that bell notification if you want to be alerted that I have new videos. Without further ado, love you guys. See you in the next video.